guys. So I was thinking it's time for a little reminder, a friendly reminder at that. I love that we're in this age of information, and I love that I'm seeing more and more people literally come out of the woodwork. I mean, strangers really, hopping on social media to share their voice. When we share our voice, not only are we speaking our truth, but we're releasing in a way, right? Because if there's something inside of you, especially if it's something that people around you don't understand, social media is a great way to put it out there. And as I know many of you have found, the people that start following you or the people that you connect with seem to know you better than even your own family, right? So that's the really cool part about this age that we're in. Now, we've been practicing discernment, so we know, even salt looks like sugar. So we take what resonates and we leave what doesn't. And that's something that's never going to change. You even want to discern with your own thoughts, right? Because we know that sometimes the thoughts that come into our brain are not even ours, right? They're coming from either outside entities or conditioning or our beliefs from the past that are no longer true, that want to creep in and hold us back. And it seems to me that, our younger kids coming up, not to say they don't deal with this, they do, but it's a lot less than those of us that are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old that have just been in it for much longer. It takes a while to break this stuff down. So I just want to commend those of you that are dedicated to the work and that are doing that. But the one thing about this age of information and, the flip side of what comes with others expressing, their voice, their truth, is that we can get bombarded with it to a point that it overwhelms us. And we've learned and we know, right? We're totally cognizant of how our thoughts and our words materialize, right? So we've gotten really, really good at continuing to practice the way that we speak, the way that we think, and especially because manifestation is happening so quickly now. It's almost like sometimes, don't you have days where you say something and by the end of the day it shows up and you're like, whoa, I just said that this morning. So I wanted to remind and ask us all to please, imagine what and how quickly we could manifest new earth, a breakthrough, if we just took some time every day, even if it's just a thought, even if it's just a post that you put out there, about what new earth will look like for you. And all of our realities can be different. There is no one. And to be totally honest with you, 5D is really a frequency. It's a vibration. This is why many of you are experiencing 5D energy now, because you've shifted your level of consciousness. You've shifted your vibration. You've raised your energy consistently to a point where you no longer tolerate lower vibrations. So this is not to say we need to wait around. I think that's the biggest point of this, guys. I don't want us to wait around for disclosure, wait around for the ships to show up, wait around for a new leader to pop up and take care of it for us, because quite frankly, it's not going to happen the way that maybe some of us think that will solve every problem, if that makes sense. What up, everybody coming in the room? So my point is this. If you want a new reality, whatever that is, if you want to manifest anything, it must first be something that your mind knows is even a possibility. So if you're dreaming of new earth, for example, and you haven't even gotten clear on what that looks like to you, how are you going to manifest it? I often wonder if for every post people put up that focuses on what is happening around them right now, all the negativity, all the disgraces, all of the politics, all the bullshit, if for every one post they put up of that, that they had to put up a post about New Earth and what they're manifesting, how much more quickly we could accelerate this process. Because we're literally staying stuck in a 4D reality, if you ask me, by literally perpetrating it, keeping momentum going in all the gross shit we see around us. That is not to say we shouldn't be informed. That is not to say you should never look at this stuff. But it is certainly to say you don't want to be stuck in it and you want to be balanced. For people that are posting nonstop COVID stuff, for example, for some of them, it's part of their soul mission to inform people, and they have a really good reason for doing so. And I applaud that effort. But that doesn't mean that's the only content you should be, engaging with. Because now you're stuck in that reality. Now you turn off your phone, you walk away from your phone, and that's what's staying in your head. Even if you're not conscious of it, it's in your subconscious now. And that's what's going to be on auto regenerate for you. So if you're not going out of your way, guys, is what I'm asking you, going out of your way to get clear on what New Earth looks like, you're just holding us up. If we can have a collective group of people, right now the masses, are thinking about what's happening right now. I get it. We're humans. We want to know what's going on in our world. And again, we should. But do you realize how it keeps us stuck there? So I'm asking you to reflect. What information am I exposing myself to every day? Is it balanced? For every one post that I make about 4D shit, am I also posting something that's more 5D, New Earth, to balance it out? Or am I only contributing in a way that keeps us in this loop of staying in 4D? Because 4D is knowing the truth. 4D is a higher vibration than 3D. 4D is seeing through the illusions. But 5D is when it's not tolerated any longer. 5D and higher is when you are in a vibration of love. No, I don't mean falling in love and being romantic. That's not what I mean. Sure, it could include that. But a vibration of love means that you are in a state of love. You love your day. You love what you're engaging with. Your heart is open to receiving. Your heart is open to experiencing. We have a birthright to enjoy our life. We did not come here to be slaves. We did not come here to build more of the old. We came here to let it fall and build the new. Now, I know for some of you, you're extra ambitious and you're creating new projects and you're gathering with Soul Tribe and you're doing all the things that make sense to you in order to actually bring these things of 5D into fruition. But even if you're not, if you're listening to say your intuition is telling you no, stay put, whatever, work on this instead for right now, that's totally cool. Everyone has their place. But if you're putting too much energy into all the disgraces in the world, all of the statistics, all of the findings, all of the stuff, guys, I also have news for you. Who is your audience? Because the masses that have decided that they're okay with slavery, they're not reading your shit. We are. The ones that already know. We already know. We already know all of the terrible numbers that are out there. We already know all the propaganda. We already know it. So yes, please share anything that's new, relevant, new information. I personally love hearing things that, I'm fortunate. I enjoy connecting with different people around the world. So when they show me what's happening in their hometown, I really appreciate it. Right? Because I'm not going to get that kind of information from anything on TV. I want it from the horse's mouth, you guys. But I want it in balance. I'm not going to just keep scrolling and getting all this truth that's going to bring because you can't help it, guys. It brings you to that vibration. And now for some of us, and me even on Sundays, it makes you spiral. You start to think of all of the possibilities of how bad this can get. Rather than interrupting that momentum that you're creating, because you're creating momentum when you're scrolling and when you're reading all these kinds of posts over and over and over again every single day. Guys, whatever you tell yourself, whatever narrative you create in your brain is what you create in the outside. It's what materializes. Why do you think everyone believes the stories and the narratives that come out on the news? Because that's all it is. They are sharing a belief, sharing a narrative, sharing a thought, and people are receiving it. And then they hear it over and over and over again every day for a year. And guess what they believe? Guess what becomes their reality? So I'm wondering, is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? Us highly advanced souls that are here and have a calling and have an inner feeling and have inner wisdom. Is it time we check ourselves? How many of you, I wonder, have ever taken out a piece of paper and wrote a list on all of the things that you want to manifest in New Earth? Guys, you don't need to know how it's going to happen. Let the universe take care of that. But you got to know what it is. Otherwise, you're living by default. Otherwise, you're waiting around. Otherwise, you're clogging your energy up with all this 4D stuff. And then we stay stuck there and we wonder why. How powerful would it be if every single day we took literally 2 minutes even to just shut our eyes, take a breath, and breathe into what we want to create? For example, if I want to create a food forest, which I do, I visualize myself coming out of my living space, going outside and seeing all kinds of trees with oranges, figs, lemons, avocados. Then I imagine the sun hitting me and feeling that sunshine. And I imagine myself getting water and maybe rainwater I collected and watering these plants. And I imagine the feeling. How do I feel? Guys, it's all about how you feel when you're trying to manifest. It's not the thought alone, it's the feeling. I feel great taking a fig off of that tree and unpeeling it, and the juice and how delicious, and the nutrients, and, nourishing my body with pure food. How long does it take? Maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes to imagine that. And if all of us did that every day, even if we did it every day for 30 days, I'm just saying. It's a thought. What up, King of Gaia? What up, Christy? What up, Universe Calling You? What up, Tunbrick? What up, Dwight? What up, Rosie? What up, Jenners? What up, Bronte? Guys, whenever I have these conversations, I'm not trying to roast anybody. I'm passionate and I'm not here to play games. I just want to make sure that we're not getting sucked into too many 4D ideas that are preventing us from propelling ourselves into what I call New Earth, New Eden. I'm living on a 5D frequency, and that feels great. Sometimes I get sucked down to something lower vibration. That's okay. I pull myself out of it. I take the time, and I love myself enough to recognize that and pull myself out. Is everyone pulling themselves out? Are they staying stuck there in depression, fear? Are they thinking of possibilities that don't serve us? Because if that's what we're doing, guys, we want to check ourselves at the fucking door and leave that shit. That's not what we came here to do. If every time you created a post, it cost you $1, it might make you think about what you're posting. So if you're putting out 20 posts a day that are all bringing people into a lower vibration, and by lower, I do mean 4D. 4D is no longer acceptable. 5D or higher only. And I have news for you. Truth is still part of 5D vibrations. It's not that you leave the truth behind. It's that you incorporate the vibration of love, and that it's love above all. So if it costs you $1 to post your post, wouldn't you be more mindful of what you were posting? Maybe we can have that mentality. Maybe that will let us think a little bit more clearly about what content we're projecting out into the void. Because it is quantum, guys. If you have an understanding, a basic understanding of quantum physics, you understand that there is a void. And as soon, everyone's thoughts, this is everyone, whenever you have a thought, it's like you're throwing it out into the void, and now it's up for grabs. Anyone can take that thought on. This is why some of you have realized, many of you have realized, that you think something and then you'll hear a lot of us talking about it. Do you know how many times people say how synchronistic it is? They hear me say something, then they hear someone else say it, then they hear, and you know, if you're in a lower vibration, like I know some people are like, someone told me like, this person is copying all of your work. Everything that you say, this person is saying on their platform. And I said to the person, no, I don't think they're copying. I think it's up for grabs in the void. And those of us that are attuned, we can pick it up. And that's where our inspiration comes from. That is how it works. So all of your thoughts and all of your words get thrown out into the void, and then anyone can pick it up. This is why the mass consciousness is so freaking important, guys, because the masses, it's the bulk of the thoughts, it's the bulk of the beliefs, it's the bulk of what in turn becomes the reality. So I think that maybe it's our job that we should be cognizant of what thoughts and beliefs we're throwing out into the void. You know, here's another example of that. Sometimes a person comes out with an invention. They invent something, a product, okay? And maybe you saw an infomercial for it or whatever. You go over someone's house and they have this new gadget. And you're like, dude, I was going to invent that. I was going to invent that. Right? And I thought of that first. Sometimes I thought of that already. And it's like, no, bro, it was just out in the void and someone else took action on it first. You didn't take action. You had the inspiration. You tuned into that frequency, but the other person just brought it into material fruition before you did. Universe Calling You says, technology is our machine. We need to take it and make it ours, not use it to spread low vibes. Exactly my point. I'm not about false positivity. I'm not about not being informed. I am the truth. I am the vibration of truth. I'm a truth seeker. I've been my whole life. That will never change. But there is something to be said about those of us who are aware of the truth, and whether we're permeating that out in a way that is toxic to us, or whether we're having the knowing, sharing it only when we feel deeply called to do so. Is it necessary? Guys, this is what we teach our children, to think before they speak. Think before you share. Is it necessary? Is it helpful? Is it needed? Or are you just shocked about this thing, this crazy statistic you read in the moment? Like, oh my God, I have to share this with everyone. Don't worry, bro. I've done that before. I've done that before. But you know what I usually do? Actually, I think I always do. I'll DM it to someone. If say I'm really like, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe this. Or I saw a video, oh my God. I'll DM it to someone. That way I can release it and have a conversation about it. But do I need to make it public to everyone and bring all of them into that frequency? No, I don't. It's not necessary, especially because there's enough of that out there. There is enough of that out there. And you know, there's something really special about our community. If you want to call it the spiritual community or whatever you want to call our community, it looks very bipolar from a scrolling perspective, because you'll have some scary shit posted, like, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, COVID this, oh my God, numbers this, oh my God, lockdowns, war, da-da-da, da-da-da. And then all of a sudden there'll be like some uplifting, like, you know, how spiritualism is, like, something very uplifting about whatever. So now your mind is going back and forth and back and forth. Scary, happy, bliss, scary, fear, like all the things. And you're like, that's exhausting. That is tiring. I'm just asking us to be mindful that we are in the age of information and that it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I want to take a moment to thank those of you that are speaking and sharing your truth, because I know that takes bravery and I know that is needed and wanted now more than ever. But the way we discern what we read, what we see, please stop and think before you post something. Please ask yourself, is this necessary for everyone that's following me to see? Or is it something that maybe I can just DM or sit overnight? I always give myself 2 days. That's my rule. Because you know what? Within 2 days, even if it's a download of information, like it's not something I read, it comes from spirit, I sit with it for 2 days and I ask myself, is it really worth teaching? Is it really worth sharing? And I gotta be honest, as a teacher, I'll consider myself a new earth teacher. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time I come to the conclusion that's just for me, or that's just for a small group, or there's too many people that are going to misinterpret this, so I'm just going to hold back. You guys have your channels and people that you follow that put out constant truth. So if you need truth on something, you know where to go. You already know where to go. But do we need, out of 100 people, do we need, all 100 of us putting that out there? Probably not. So just be mindful of that. Guys, I'm going to do a reading in another live. I'm going to put it in a separate container. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all your efforts. Guys, let's be mindful of what we are putting out there and what we are receiving. And let's take at least 1 minute every day to visualize New Eden. Let our consciousness, the consciousness of New Earth, become the mass consciousness. If all my advanced souls do this, we can flip a planet in no time. All right, guys, I love you. Keep the light lit.